The crackdown in the occupied West Bank resumed before dawn. The Israeli army ransacking several houses and arresting at least 2 people in the city of Nablus. The resistance was fierce but limited to stones. Then in occupied East Jerusalem, the homes of 2 men who'd allegedly been involved in attacks against Israelis were demolished. Neighbors saying this an act of calculated cruelty, given that the attacks occurred nearly a year ago. The PLO describes it as yet another illegal act of collective punishment.
Yesterday at midnight, army forces came and raided the houses aggressively and assaulted the residents. They started hitting people and ordered us to evacuate immediately from the building without any pre-warning. We were just evacuated to the street.
While in Bethlehem, the funeral of 13-year-old Abdul Rahman Abdallah, who was shot and killed by the Israeli army at a nearby refugee camp. His family adamant that there were no protests taking place at the time of the shooting.
My son went to school like all the other kids, and then he finished school, but he never came back home. They shot him, and there were no clashes underway inside the camp.
And in Ramallah, protesters repeatedly dispersed by rubber-coated steel bullets and tear gas. Gunshots were also fired. As Palestinian frustration mounts, so too does political pressure on Palestinian leader Mahmoud Abbas. There are questions from the Hamas leadership in Gaza as to the nature of security cooperation with Israel, and questions from within his own PLO factions as to whether he intends to abandon the Oslo Accords or not, the fundamental framework for whatever relationship exists with Israel. At a meeting of PLO factions, Mahmoud Abbas made clear his belief that under occupation, Palestinians are forced to defend themselves.
When a group of settlers come and attack a village, what do you expect our response to be? Leave us alone. We're not the ones who started it. Israel has to stop and accept our hand has reached out for a political solution in a peaceful way and not another way.
Another day of rage, another day of Israeli occupation. Mike Hanna, Al Jazeera, in the occupied West Bank.